All right, everybody, and welcome in to Tech Talk with Eddie and Ralph. Y'all get your questions ready. Think of any technical questions that you have, and then when we open it up, you can post it in chat, and we will be happy to answer it. So stay right there, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to Tech Talk with Eddie and Ralph, your live help and solution center for YouTube and related tech. Please come in and enjoy the demonstration. Ask any questions you have about the demonstration or any tech-related question. We are here to help you and do this to help you. No question is dumb, and we will do what we can to keep it simple. Thank you. We will be starting soon.
Welcome back, and would like to thank all 14 of y'all for coming in. We have Jerry Butler Family Farms, DJ's Cartoon Universe, Julie Delk, Nothing But Love, Nancy, Our Treasured Home, and Dez, Peaceful Dez. Thank y'all for coming in. And like I said, think of any technical questions you can have, and we'll put it in the chat, and I will be reading chat and see what's going on or if anybody says anything. So now I'm going to turn it over to Ralph.
Hey, everybody. I tell you what, I'm going to give it back to Eddie for a second because I'm kind of dark here. I forgot to turn my lights on. Kept looking at it. I was like, well, what's wrong with my picture? Hang on. I will be back in just a second.
All right. I'm reading through chat here.
That's funny.
Y'all quit messing with Gary. He ain't even here to protect himself. Daggum. And hey, Julie, it's nice to have you here. How'd you hear about us? How'd you hear about? Did it pop up or did somebody tell you about it or what? But it is nice to have you here, Julie.
Hey, you can see me now.
Hoorah, Marines and Army Mom. Thanks for coming in. Hey, She Devil Adventures. Thank you. Like I said, think of any questions, any tech questions you may have, and we will answer them. Cornfed Life. Hey, hoorah, been a while. Thank you all for coming in. What language? I didn't cuss. I don't cuss on here. But I am not feeling that par. I've been taking medicine, my sinuses or allergies or whatever. And so tonight, okay, Julie, just to let you know, hoorah, Double Dog Prepper, thanks for coming in. Quit. All right, that's a question for Ralph. No, guys, Here's the thing.
Not me.
Julie, usually on Saturday at 7 p.m. we have Day with the Dog, and that's me. I was in Marine Corps, and therefore my name Devil Dog. Ralph was in the Air Force, but here's the thing: the first Saturday of each month we do a tech talk with Eddie and Ralph, and what we do is we try to help people out as far as any tech questions they have concerning YouTube, concerning video editing, as far as anything computer, basically for YouTube. Um, anything like that. That's what we try to answer and help. We try to help people out. So now we'll turn it back over to Ralph.
Yep, you can see me now. Yeah, and I'm getting over a cold too, so you're going to see me taking a lot of sips of water more than I normally do. But anyway, I mentioned this on Dez's live last night. I'll just jump right into stuff so we can get on through this stuff. StreamYard has been sold to another company. This is not the first time. It's actually the second time this has happened with StreamYard. The first time, they really didn't change anything at all. There was a little bit, but they kept the pricing and everything the same. This just happened like in the last couple of days, so we have no idea what what's going to become of it. Normally, when something like this happens, it takes about 6 months or so for the new company to kind of get used to things, see what's going on, kind of get used to it. This other company is called Bending Spins. So, sorry, getting ahead of myself. So I really wouldn't expect to see any changes right off the bat here. Maybe an announcement. I don't know if we'll see that or not. But anyway, just to let you guys know that I know most of you guys do use StreamYard. Just to let you know that your product has been sold to another company. Now, like I said, that new company is called Bending Spins. Why, I don't know, but they've been around for a while. And I'm going to pull up their webpage here real quick. And we don't need that way. So it's just bendingspins.com. They have all kinds of stuff. This is their products page. Now they've been making software for quite a few years. I think they started in 2013, so been around for a while. They're not brand new. But this is just a look at some of the products that they already have. So they're, as I scroll through this, you'll notice that they're kind of into photo, video, pictures, kind of now with this kind of getting into live stream. So this is exactly what it says, AI powered photo enhancement and restoration tool. I have not used any of their products. I didn't know anything about them until I heard about this. So I know absolutely nothing about the company other than just what I've looked up here. So they have that tool. Try not to go too fast here. Some of you may have seen this. Some of you may have actually used this if you've been around PCs for a while. Evernote. Actually, I think at one time this was coming with Windows. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. Maybe we had it at work. I don't know. I can't remember. I know I never used it, whatever it was.
Well, DJ says Evernote is good, but DJ's a Mac user.
Yep. You notice that a lot of these they have both for Mac and Windows, so which is kind of good. But
dang it, you had to say that, didn't you, Ralph?
Hey, I don't care. Use whatever you want. I just don't care. I think everybody knows where I got to stand on that argument, so we won't get into it. Anyway, they also have an editing tool called Splice, and I think most of this stuff is phone-based. But again, like I said, I've never played with it, never touched it. I'm just kind of showing you what they're into so you have an idea.
Do they charge for that?
I think most of this stuff is paid. Okay. So that's the part that kind of scares me. because you know, I mean, you never know where these people are going to want to take this kind of stuff. Again, like I said, the first time that StreamYard got sold, you didn't even notice it. As far as from the user point of view, nothing really changed. As far as the tiers, there may have been a slight price change, but that would have been, you know, you would have just figured out that was just a, you know, a normal little price hike. It wasn't much. If it was anything, I don't even think it was anything. But that's the company that is buying the software that most of you guys use. And I mean, I will admit, StreamYard is very simple to use, and that was their original idea. The people that the guys, the software group that originally created StreamYard, their whole idea, their software was based on making it easy for the user. And they did a really good job of it. It's a really nice, easy, simple to use piece of software that most new users can get on and start streaming and put some nice little effects and stuff. And, you know, if you want the next level, then you can pay the whatever it is to get a little bit more. So, but even their free, I've always felt that their free version, other than having the logo up there, was quite good, worked quite well. And it really works well. It's really worked well for people who don't have good quality internet connection or a higher end PC, because it takes a lot of the internet stuff off of your PC and off of your connection. So you're not actually broadcasting to everybody. You're just sending your signal to StreamYard, and StreamYard's broadcasting it to everybody. So you're only dumping one stream out. Anyway, enough of that tech talk. But that's the company that's buying StreamYard. The other thing I was going to talk about.
I do hope that they fix some stuff, because you know, every time you end a stream, it has a little thing, you know, how did it go? And you can put in comments and stuff. And I don't know how many times I put in a comment, but, you know, nothing gets done about it or, you know, whatever. And it ain't like they even respond to you or anything else. So why are you having me, you know, say how the stream went or what they could do to do better or whatever, if they're not even going to acknowledge you've done anything? You know?
Yeah.
Made a response.
Yeah, I mean, probably now would be the good, if you want something to be looked at, now would probably be a good time to put it, you know, a suggestion in. I'm not sure how they have that stuff, but now would probably be a good time to put that stuff in, because they'll, you know, a new company is going to be looking at everything. But like I said, it's going to take them a while to, evaluate and figure out what they want to do. I mean, this kind of stuff used to happen to us at work. You know, we would be working with a vendor and then somebody would buy them out, and then we'd have to get used to the new, you know, yeah, nothing right up front would change. But after about 6 months, a year or so, then, you know, policies and changes, and you'd start seeing new techs and new guys come in and stuff like that. So it's just, it's part of the business.
I didn't even know you could do vertical streaming on StreamYard. You know, but Sasquatch says vertical streaming is trash on StreamYard.
Yeah, I haven't looked at that. This is really the only time I use StreamYard. I haven't done a live on my own in a long time. So I don't use StreamYard when I stream. I just stream from OBS directly into YouTube. But I have the equipment that can handle it and the internet that can handle it. So that's that one. The other thing I was going to show is a little utility that is called Everything. It's made by Void Tools. This is the only product this guy makes. It's a free product. And what this does is it's an add-on that actually will search for your files if you're using Windows. Okay, for your Mac users, this does not apply. You can take a nap. This is a Windows thing. The search button in Windows has become an internet search. And
now you have 100, Scott. I just switched over to another of my channels and gave you 100. Sorry.
There you go.
Ralph.
That's fine. That's fine. So that the search button in Windows is just, if you're looking for files and stuff, it's just become a joke. It's just because it does internet searches, and it's usually I'm looking for files, I'm looking for videos, I'm looking for pictures, I'm looking for that, I'm looking for this. So this actually will look for files. It actually indexes everything. It searches very fast. It searches every drive on your PC, and it can do multiple searches. So this is just voidtools.com.
Jason said Ralph knows everything. Yeah, he's a computer. He's an AI.
This is what I do, man. I play with software. That's why my PC gets so screwed up most of the time, because I just oh, what does that do? Download it. Oh crap. Rebuild time. Anyway, I already have this installed, but they have a really good tutorial here on how to install it. It's like you install everything else. So yeah, I do installing. So you just download it. It's tiny. It's a very small file. It does run an indexing service in your PC while it's running. But anyway, there's a couple different ones you can.
Oh, okay,
Go ahead.
Ralph.
Go ahead.
Okay, you're saying that this, Windows used to do it, but now when you search Windows bar at the bottom, it always looks on stuff on the internet and everything else. It's crap, anymore and stuff. So where is this have a little icon somewhere or something like that?
Yeah, this will end up running in your system tray. I don't think you can see my system tray. No, it doesn't come up over there.
But like if you go to search something, where would the little search bar be?
It would be in your system tray. Not your quick start, your system tray over on the left, the little drop down arrow thing.
Oh, I got you.
And it puts a little orange arrow hourglass. Okay. I can't talk.
Let me try this. Let me see. Real quick, Quinn says, does anyone do Plank a little cool coding anymore?
Never even heard of it. But that doesn't mean anything. I wasn't well, I did a lot of coding. It was like Visual Basic for applications type stuff and HTML and stuff like that. I didn't do much.
Right, Elliot, Jonesy, guess who? Who is guess who?
So this just goes through your standard install. It just steps you through everything that you need to be able to do to run it.
Quinn says it was 1940s coding. So I guess he's calling you old, Ralph.
That was before my time, yeah.
Okay, I need to go to voidtools.com.
Yep. Excuse me.
Okay, and download which one do I download? The installer 64-bit?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay, it's downloading.
Shouldn't take long.
Okay, set up. Please select the language, English. Okay, I agree. Do I want to put this in C?
Yep, that'll work.
Well, my C drive there.
It's that's not my fault nor my problem. This is a super tiny program. It's like 2.4 meg. It's like really small.
Okay, click finish. All right, I did it. Okay, it's up top. Well, it's right there. Okay, now let me close this down. Let me go over here.
And it's like I said, you can just follow all this stuff. Just follow all these steps. Installs real quick. I mean, Eddie just did it while we were on here.
Yeah.
Plus, we're streaming too. He's streaming too, so his internet's being tied up. So you saw how fast that down. I mean, it's like I said, 2.4 meg is a tiny, tiny file.
Oh, there it is. Okay, it's right on my screen. Little icon right on my screen.
Okay, cool. So I will, if when you double click on that, it may take yours a second because it hasn't probably indexed all your stuff yet, but it usually does not take too long. So in my system tray, I have a little orange hourglass. If I double click on it, or you can start this from the start menu, either way.
Okay, guess who's Gary? It's got a G as his thing, and he said "Sup, Jerry" at Butler Family Farms. You know anybody else that says "Sup"?
No.
Yeah, that would be Gary.
So this is what it looks like, and this is literally showing pretty much everything on all of the hard drives in my system. So you can see I got a bunch of hard drives. I got 814,000 different files and all kinds of different things on my PC. Anyway, this is what it looks like. So if I want to find a file that starts with or doesn't start with contains anywhere in the file name, the letters ABC, I just type in ABC. Now, hopefully you guys can see that. Let me make it a little bit bigger. So ABC is highlighted in all those file names, whether it's here at the very beginning or anywhere. So that just shows it anywhere in the file name, it'll show you where it is. You can click on it, bring it up, figure out where it is, all kinds of good stuff. You can also do multiple searches by doing like ABC or whatever, and then space, and then 1, 2, 3. So those are all the files on my PC that in the file name have ABC and 1, 2, 3. You can do wildcards like *AVI, and by putting this symbol in between, I can do *ACC. That shows me, I typed in AVU. AVI. And you see how it's interactive. As soon as I added that letter, it changed what it was showing me. So that's showing me everything on my PC that is an AVI file or an ACC file. Actually, that's not right because I missed the dot. There we go. That was correct. If I take, okay, that's showing me files because I used the asterisk for the wildcard. So you can use the wildcards. Also, in that other screen, like on here, let's see, I can go back. I can go back again. This section here, searching, it tells you how to do all these different searches. So how do you search a file type? How do you search, include spaces, wildcards, all that kind of stuff. This is really nice little, reference they have here. So let me bring that back up. So it's just really, really nice. It just shows you files. It doesn't show you anything on the internet. It doesn't show you anything else. One way this can be really useful, and I don't. Usually, a lot of times when you have downloaded a lot of video onto your PC, it's like, oh man, a couple of months ago I took some footage, or last year I took some footage, and I'd like to, grab something back out of that, or just grab a still or something out of it. And of course, you have no idea what the file names were because your phone conveniently starts naming things normally with the year, the month, and then the day it was taken. So let's say if you knew that you took something in 2023-05. Now I was looking for stuff before and I didn't have very much. I can't remember where I've got stuff right now. So anyway, you will not have all these log files on your PC. This is something that I have the utility that's keeping all that stuff. And it just so happens that for 2305, I only have one file. But if I had a bunch that were in 2305, it would show me all of these files. So it can really help you locate a lot of files. Again, if you know how your camera keeps its file format, you can, this thing really will help you locate your video files. Because that's one of the things when you start doing a lot of video editing is you end up with a ton of files. You end up with a ton of files that you don't need. You end up with a ton of files that are just dead footage, basically. It's just footage that you took and you're going to edit out or whatever. But this can be very helpful to help locate some files that were taken on given dates. So just a very useful little program. These are the kind of things that I search out and look for things. Some things I'll see a video on YouTube about something and I'll go check it out. Because I like playing with software. I like seeing what they do. That is how I find all these little really good utilities and stuff. It's just literally going and downloading it. And it's not something I suggest everybody do, because I know at some point that I'm going to screw my PC up and I'm going to have to rebuild it. But that's okay. With me, that's okay. I can do that. I have a routine for going and rebuilding my PC, and it's okay because it refreshes everything. Cable's driving me nuts today. But that's just me. But that's part of the reason that I do this is because, like I said, I do spend a lot of time playing with this stuff. And for every one really good utility like this that I find, I probably look at 20 or 30. And sometimes it takes me 2 seconds to figure out that, oh, this is a piece of crap. Delete, uninstall. But, with Windows uninstalling stuff, we'll usually leave traces and stuff behind. And that's what over time will mess your PC up, is all those things all these programs that I uninstall leave behind. Just tend to kludge up your system very badly. So I'm going to let Eddie talk for a second because I'm about talked out for the moment. My voice
I don't want to talk.
I guess we're all going to sit here in silence then. Excuse me.
All right. Does anyone have any tech?
Sorry.
Does anyone have any tech questions for Ralph? Now would be the time to ask him.
Yep.
And don't wait till like last month where nobody asked anything until the last 10 minutes, and then everybody started doing it.
Yep.
Simon said, "Please don't let me talk, Ralph."
Oh. Okay. I can keep talking if you want. I can show you the other stuff I was going to show you. I wasn't sure if I was going to show this or not, but I got through that pretty quick.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to do something real quick.
Okay, let me change what screen I'm sharing here. Oh. Let's see. That's better. Okay, one of the other pieces of software I was going to talk about was DaVinci Resolve. There's a new version of DaVinci Resolve coming out, 19. It's been released in beta. If you go to their site, you'll probably download the beta. When they release beta software, it's about 95% ready to go. And they're just like sending it out to do some fine tuning with users out in the field. They always are adding new features into DaVinci Resolve, both the free version and the paid version. One of the new features that's in DaVinci Resolve 19 is audio ducking. For those of you who don't know what audio ducking is, Let's say in this example that I've got pulled up here, I'm going to go full screen here. In this example that I have pulled up here, I have a music track and then I have some spoken tracks. So like a lot of time when you're watching a video, there'll be some low music in the background, or there'll just be regular music in the background. And then somebody will come over and speak over the top of the music. Now you can go in and do cuts and do fades at the beginning or just drop the volume on this, but that's kind of a pain in the neck. So one of the things they've added, and this is really nice, is this automatic ducking feature. So basically, this is just a picture, just to have something up there so you're not looking at a blank screen. Like I said, 2, 3, just little audio talking files. And then this music file. So all you have to do to turn this ducking, well, I'll play this. This might be a little loud. I kind of have it up a little bit. This is a really loud track anyway. I'll play this so you can just, this is what would normally happen if you just laid these tracks on here and didn't do anything. Make sure I have that turned off. Yes. So I'll just play this through a little bit. That'll give us both a chance to take a short break.
Fitting to get back on out there.
What are you looking at? Yeah, you! You better be looking at Mail Call right now!
So just talking right over the top of it.
What are you looking at? Yeah, you! You better be looking at Mail Call right now!
Texas, 50 miles from LA. Back on the road, Texas, 50 miles from LA.
So that's just some funny minion stuff. So I'll go back to the beginning here, and I will turn this ducking on. You see how it's not there right now? What you have to do is get off of the actual track itself and come over here and just click in the audio track header. So just click in it and you see your controls changed over here. Literally, all I'm going to do is turn this ducker on. And my source is audio 1. Okay. I'm on audio 2. This is, you're going to want to do this from your music track. So I've got that one highlighted. That's the one I'm turning the ducking on. I'm going to tell it to, whenever it sees something in audio track 1, to duck. And I'm also going to turn, I already have it turned up because I was playing with this before. But this normally starts, I think, right at 11. But I'm going to turn this really high up. So now by doing that, when I play this, this should automatically lower the volume when it hits these 3. Just by doing that little bit of stuff.
Back on out there.
What are you looking at? Yeah, you! You better be looking at Mail Call right now! What are you looking at? Yeah, you! You better be looking at Mail Call right now!
Texas, 50 miles from LA.
Book reading. Bakit lang matutuloy ko na? Kumakinig me.
I mean, really, how easy can that be?
Yeah, that's awesome.
For
For people that use DaVinci, unlike Gary don't use DaVinci.
Hey.
Hoorah, Steven.
So again, that's in the free version. That comes in the free version. Some of the other stuff that they've added is really cool.
Yeah, show them that what you were showing me.
I'm going to turn these off. I don't want these to play right now. And I turned the ducking off.
But see, here's the thing. I eventually want to get the paid version. Just to let y'all know before he does this, the paid version of DaVinci, once you buy it, it's like lifetime. You don't have to purchase it again. Any of the new upgrades and everything else come with it. It's not like a new version or software comes out and you got to buy it again. It is a little bit pricey. It's like what, $300, Ralph?
Yeah, it's 200. No, it's 395.
Okay, it's $400, but the thing is it's lifetime. Any new
Yep.
upgrades, anything they add to it, and everything else you get. And there's certain stuff you can do on the pro version that you can't do on the free version, even though the free version is awesome because I use the free version. Ralph has the pro version, but I want to get the pro version eventually. But the thing is like you can on the something you can't do on the free version that you can do on the pro version is you can't take a person or whatever out of a moving background and then add another background to and put that person in it. Whereas, on the paid version, you can. And then this right here that he's fixing to show you, you can't do on the free version, but you can do on the paid version.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff on the paid version is a lot of the newer, AI stuff. But what I'm getting ready to show you is impressive to say the least, to me anyway. I thought this was just the ease of doing it is just ridiculous. Just like doing that ducking. I mean, yes, you can go in, like I said, you can go in and mark each and cut each place where you want it to duck and then go in and lower the volume. But how long is that going to take you? If you're doing like a travel video that's an hour long and you're going to go through and do that for each time you started talking? Nope, I don't think so. Well, you could, but how long would that take you? That took me 30 seconds, if that. Anyway, this music remixer, same thing. You got to click over here to be in it instead of over there. This music mixer. So you just turn it on and you notice that it has kind of different instruments in it. So if I start playing this, and I'll just tell you guys right now, this music is not copyrighted, so don't anybody worry about it.
Fitting to get back on out there.
So if I click this, of course I pick a spot where he's not singing.
Back on the road to Texas.
Look, no vocals.
Back on the road to Texas.
We have vocals again. I turn it back on. Turn them off. Turn it back on. Now we don't have any drums.
I was born today.
No bass.
Taxman take my money. Rich man steal my soul.
This other is going to be the horns.
Well, taxman take my money. Rich
No
man
guitar.
steal my soul.
No guitar or voice.
Easy go.
You can also change the volume of each one too. So crank the voice
Work
up.
my fingers to the bone, and
It's
I
not
went to
perfect,
see my baby, but there ain't nobody home. Said she need
For a
me
first
there.
iteration of trying something, you can only see them tweaking this more as they go. To me, that's pretty impressive.
Back on the road, Texas, yeah.
For what most people want to be able to do, that is,
Alfonso wants,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Alfonso wants to know, can you do green screen like Adobe Premiere Pro? I've heard that Adobe is the only software that meets industry standard requirements.
I don't know where you heard that from, but that's not true. If you've watched TV, you've watched something that was created with DaVinci Resolve at some point in time during a program. This is a professional level program. Yes, it can do green screen. You can do chroma key. You can do
Hoorah, Chef.
anything that you can do in Premiere, you can do in DaVinci, and vice versa. And I'm not knocking Premiere. The only thing I knock on Premiere is that it's a subscription.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday, Simon. You're getting old, dude.
Happy birthday.
Today's Simon's birthday.
Anyway, that's pretty much what I was going to show you guys tonight. But again, yeah, I use DaVinci. Yes, I have the pro version. But again, I like it. Has a bit of a learning curve. Again, it's not just the video editor part of it. And I know I always keep saying this: when you buy DaVinci, you are buying a full suite of tools, color grading, creating your own graphics. You don't have to go buy a separate program and pay for it and all that stuff too. Adobe, are you listening? Sorry, cheap shot. I have problems with people who like to nickel and dime people to death. And that's why I dislike a lot of subscription service type stuff, because it's just that.
He said, I've heard that in college. I've heard that Adobe is the only professional software that meets the industry standard requirements when it comes to rendering and export.
Well, I'll tell you what, you send Blackmagic an email and let them know that, and see what your response is. Because I'm not kidding that if you've watched TV for an hour, you have seen something somewhere along the line that at least part of it was done with DaVinci. It may not be the editing part of it, but I'll guarantee you it's the color grading part of it, because that's what DaVinci was started for, was a color grading tool. So people can say whatever they want about Adobe being this and Adobe being, or Premiere being this and Premiere being that. The two programs are on par with each other as far as their capabilities, what they can do, and what they can output. So again, we're arguing, use what you want.
Jonesy said he's there. He's here for you, Ralph.
No, Adobe has a lot of pull, I'll say. And yes, Adobe is in a lot of colleges because they have sponsorships, but they have, they've gone in and say, look, we'll let you use the software to teach people how to do stuff and give you a break on it and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And that's fine. We used to get the same thing where I worked, we would buy certain amounts of Windows or whatever in Office, and we got a break on it. So, there's nothing wrong with doing that. But it tends to put students down a certain path. And if you go look on YouTube, and again, yes, you're going to use what you first started playing with because you've learned how to use it. You know the interface and all the other stuff. You can go look on YouTube and look how many people and see how many videos there are about people who have switched to DaVinci, and they will talk about the pros and cons of both. I can't talk about Adobe Premiere because I've never used it. I've used a lot of the free ones. I've used a lot of different ones, but I was never going to pay for Premiere. Just wasn't going to do it. So that's, after a while I found DaVinci and I was like, oh, well, this is, for some reason, it wasn't that difficult to use for me because I knew I wasn't going to use anything but the edit page to start.
Kyle says, do you have any hacks for someone trying to learn and use Python?
No, not really. Just playing with it and looking at tutorials and stuff like that. I've done a little bit of Python, a little bit of PHP, a little bit of a lot of things. So I'm not a good one to talk about actual pieces of like programming like that. Again, YouTube University is great. And again, you have to go through with everything on YouTube, like DaVinci. Again, I'll use this DaVinci as, I'm not getting away from your question. I'll use DaVinci as an example. There are all kinds of tutorials out there on DaVinci, including some of my own. Some of them are good. Some of them are bad. Some of the guys are really, really detailed. and get really in depth. Casey Ferris. If anybody really wants to learn DaVinci Resolve, go look up Casey Ferris. He gets really, really deep into doing things. He gets really, really lightweight into doing things. He has courses and all kinds of stuff. He's really good. A lot of what I've picked up and learned, I've learned from watching his videos. Mr. Alex is another one. He's really good. But Casey Ferris, if you really want to learn DaVinci, deep dive into DaVinci, into Fusion and everything else, color grading and everything else, he's a great resource for it. I think I finished that. Did I finish that? I hope I answered your question. A lot of programming is just playing. It's just getting in there and seeing what works and seeing what doesn't work. Again, I don't know if you're trying to develop something for yourself or for where you work, or where you work is going to have different requirements than what you personally have. So. Anyway.
Well, thank you, Sammy. Didn't even know you were here lurking. Here you go, Sammy. Ralph went to, he's indisposed right now, so it's just me. That is Sammy Goodwin with, if you're not familiar with him, go to his channel, subscribe to him, Godwin Honey. It's at Godwin Honey. He's also my boss. So we do windshields and stuff like that. So y'all go check out Sammy at Godwin Honey. It's at Godwin Honey. There, I'll drop the link. Oh, Ralph's back.
Yeah, I put some water. I put some water bottles in the freezer a while ago. I wanted to pop. Sorry. Dude. So that was really all I had. Said that already, didn't I?
And there is the Sammy's link to his channel. So if you're not subscribed to him, go subscribe to him. She Devil Adventure said, I think I may give DaVinci a try. The interface looks similar to what I am using now, Ralph.
Yeah, most as long as most editors are timeline based, they're all relatively the same. I'll give you one hint right off the bat. When you first open DaVinci, it's going to start in the cut page and not the edit page.
Yep.
So just jump over to the edit page, which will be down at the bottom. I already closed it, or I'd bring it back up and show you.
Well, Tommy, here's the thing. Honestly, if you start using DaVinci, I don't know, it is a pretty big program. So sometimes I've had people try to get DaVinci before and they can't because their computer will not run it. Okay. But if your computer will run it and you do get on DaVinci and you have any questions, feel free to email Ralph, the1wiz1 at gmail.com, and he will answer or walk you through, anything you need help with. He's my go-to, and I appreciate Ralph a whole lot.
Yeah, I'm kind of like here to help people. And I know DaVinci, for most people, again, I think we have a couple of new people on here. I have many years of working in IT and evaluating software and stuff. So
we have 23 million people in here, Ralph.
Yeah, right.
We have
nice. So, but anyway, some of what I did a lot of different things at work. But
Yeah, Tommy,
One of-
it'll handle it. If you have a gaming computer, it'll handle it.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it takes something with a little horsepower, but nothing ridiculous. I mean, Eddie's computer is nice, but it's a basic computer,
Thanks, Ralph.
basic gaming computer. Okay.
What Ralph's saying is my computer could be a whole lot better.
Well, no, I mean, everybody's computer is what it is. People buy what they can afford. Okay. Just because I'm a nut doesn't mean everybody's got to be a nut.
I want
Yeah,
to be a nut. I want to be a nut, but Jamie takes all my money.
I just don't tell Isla
Just-
some of the stuff I buy. So.
Just ask Sammy. I get paid on Fridays. Take Jamie the check, and it's gone.
Yep. No, we're the same way. But see, it's one of the advantages of being able to build your own PC is being able to upgrade it a piece at a time
Uh-huh.
instead of having to take that plunge of whatever amount of money you've got to plunge into buying a new computer.
I can actually
know.
do that, Ralph.
So, you can upgrade your video card, you can add memory, you can actually have the same amount of memory, but get faster memory as far as the latency and stuff goes on it. So there's many different ways you can upgrade your PC depending on your motherboard. You can upgrade your processor and just get a faster processor and stuff. You got to stay within what the socket will take, but it's the advantage of doing it that way is you can do it a piece at a time.
Yeah, what Kyle Alexander is saying is totally right. I was a department manager at Best Buy over the computer department, and one day they'll have a graphics card that's top of the line, and then
Yep.
a month later they got another one. It's better than the last one.
You always,
And you have GeForce, NVIDIA, and then you have AMD and stuff like that.
yep. Now you have Intel too,
Yeah.
but you always hear me talking about computers when you're buying a computer is kind of like buying a car. Whatever car you buy now, next year, there's a new model that has new features on it. Computers are worse because sometimes it only takes 6 months, but it's the same. It's the same idea. You can always wait. You can always wait, and there will be the next generation of whatever CPUs, graphics card, memory, motherboards, whatever. Okay. Next generations of cases of different types and styles, different colors, fan, just whatever there is. It's just like a car. There's always something new coming out.
Yeah.
When
CW
something gets
Adventure-
released, it's pretty much they're already working on the next one. When they release something, like when they release the 40,000 series or the 4,000 series cards, NVIDIA, they're already working on the 5,000s. The 5,000s are getting ready to come out.
Yep.
So it's just like a car. Whatever you buy, what you have to do, and what I always tell people when they're looking to buy a computer is just like a car, set a price. I have $800, I have $1,000, I have $1,500, I have $2,000, whatever that budget is, and try to get the best you can for that budget. And it's just like a car. You can go into a dealership. I've got $50,000 to spend on a car. By the time you leave, you're over $100,000 because, oh, look at that little fancy thing. And of course, the salesman's because he's going to get more commission. But a PC is the same way. You go in, you have this much to spend, or you're going to upgrade your video card, your GPU. I want to spend this much. Well, if I spend this much more on this and then a little bit more on this, and then by the time you're out the door, you've spent over $150 more than what you started with. So your $800 decent PC becomes a $950 PC that you really may not get that much more performance for. You really have to look at how much performance or whatever you're getting for how much you're spending. But it's like I said, it's very much like a car. Set a price, set your budget, and try to stick to it. And again, it's just like a car. You're going to go over it. You just will. It's just literally, it is like buying a car. You see that one thing that's like, oh, I really, really want that, and it's like, okay, I'll spend the extra whatever it is to get that because it's something that I really, really like or really want. it's the same deal. Again, build it yourself, buy a pre-built. Again, some pre-built companies are really good, some of them are not. And you're just, again, use YouTube University and search around the tech guys and see who they, have had good luck with, as far as, because they get PCs from everybody and they will buy anonymously, so they don't know who's buying it and stuff. So
yeah, Marines and Army Mom says, what is your opinion on Chromebook?
I'm not a big Chromebook fan because it's really just an internet device. It's just for getting really on the internet. Again, it's one of those things I've really never used. But there was a lady that I worked with, and she had a Chromebook, and I had created some files for people on a thumb drive, and she couldn't even look at them. I'm like, well, what good is that? I was like, it's great for getting online and paying my bills and looking at email. And I said, okay, well, that's fine, but you can't really do anything else with it. So, and I may not understand enough about Chromebooks. Again, like I said, I've never had one. If I'm going to spend money, I'm going to go ahead and spend enough money to get a real PC.
How much do Chromebooks usually cost?
I don't even know. I know they're not as expensive as most. Okay, Alex says it's good for the internet. That's all.
Yeah.
And if that's all you do, but again, you're at some point in time, you're gonna have somebody that wants to send you a file, which you can do over the internet. But again, somebody's gonna have something, a relative or somebody's gonna have something on a thumb drive, or even forbid a CD or something like that hardly nobody uses it, but still. Kyle says about 200. So yeah, they're cheaper, way cheaper, but you can get cheap laptops too. So again, I understand that's an attractive price for somebody who really just wants to get online and do some stuff.
Well, see,
that's a very attractive price, but you can get a really good tablet for that price too. So,
well, see, here's the thing. I used to work at Dell Computers way back in the day before they sold them at Best Buy or anything else. Okay. I was a salesman. This is when you had to call the 1-800 something Dell or whatever, 1-888. I forget the number, but anyways, whenever somebody would call in, I was one of the people that they would talk to. Now, when I worked at Dell Computers, I got Employee of the Month, Employee of the Quarter. I won a DeWalt saw. I won a pool table. I won an Xbox. I won so many gift cards and stuff like that. Because the thing is I would never lie to a customer, for one. So I had repeat business and referrals. And the other thing is I would listen to the customer's needs. Okay. You didn't want to sell somebody a $2,000 computer when all they were going to do is get on the internet and check email and pay bills. Okay. And then you didn't want to sell somebody, you sold them, you tried to sell them the 3-year service plan. You tried to sell them the peripherals like the surge protector, and the printer and printer cables, and stuff like that. But I was good at my job. And the thing is you would ask the customer what they were going to use the computer for. Okay. And then you would ask them, you'd ask them about you'd ask them about hard drives, how much storage they want, if they were going to do music, if they were going to do games and stuff like that. So it's all about what you're doing. If you're going to do a YouTube channel, okay, and you're going to do videos, if you're going to do lives, if you're going to do video editing and stuff like that, you don't want a Chromebook for that.
No.
Okay.
No, absolutely not.
And it's not expandable. Like, even laptops. Laptops are a little bit expandable, but not much. You can add memory to laptops. You can add certain things, but they're not that expandable.
You can add memory and storage, and that's about it. There's very few that will let you do things beyond that. As far as processors, nope, that's hard soldered onto the system board.
Yeah, but
same thing with the graphics card.
You get a tower a desktop computer, and it doesn't have to be a freaking huge one, but you want a mid-sized tower usually. A mid-size is good for expandability and everything else. And yeah, just what Kyle said, and you can control it too. Apple, you can't.
Yep.
But that's the thing about PCs. They're so okay, guys. If you're an Apple guy, if you're an Apple person, hey, more power to you. But here's the thing. I've never been an Apple person because Apples are proprietary a lot of freaking times. You got to order Apple peripherals and Apple parts, and they overprice them and everything else. Whereas with a PC, you can go with, just like your video card, your graphics card, you can go with a NVIDIA GeForce, or you can go with an AMD, or you can go with an Intel. You can go with a Intel processor, or you can go with an AMD processor. You can do different things. You can go with a Seagate hard drive, or a Western Digital, or whatever. You have so much expandability and so much versatility and stuff like that with a PC. And even if you got, depending on what you're needing and everything else, you can start at about $800 to $1,000. Get the basics that you need for a PC to get it up and running and do it a little bit at a time. And honestly, to build a PC, it takes a little bit of knowledge, but now with YouTube, you can do freaking anything. Okay. It's not that hard. You got a tower. Excuse me. Some towers come with power supplies. Some don't. You've got to buy the power supply separately. Some are, cooled with fans. Some are liquid cooled. And then you got your processor, or you got your motherboard. Then you got your processor. You got your hard drive. You got your graphics card, and your actual processor, your motherboard, processor, and graphics card are three of the most important parts. Well, besides RAM. RAM is random access memory, and that has to do with speed of your computer when you're multitasking, stuff like that. Your hard drive is like a file cabinet, okay? It's storage. So the bigger hard drive, the more stuff you can store. So it's all about what you want. But if you, hey, sissy, love you, girl. But if you start with a tower, $800,000, and then you gradually add on or upgrade it, then you can do that.
Yep. I'll just give you my, it's not even a rant with Macs. And as far as Macs go, they work great. But when it comes to people and wanting to compare a Mac to a PC, this is where I say stop, because you're talking about apples and oranges here. Just like Eddie said, Macs are a closed proprietary system. You must buy everything and every piece of software and everything else through Apple. You have no choice. It's a closed proprietary system. Windows is an open system, and it's non-proprietary. Why do you think 70% of the computers in the world, PCs in the world, are Windows versus Apple? But you can't compare them. It's apples and oranges. It's okay if you want to go that way.
Is that a pun? Apples and oranges?
Yeah, yes. It's two different things. Okay, if you want to do that, I'll, if you want to play, I'm going to one-up you type stuff, which is just, to me, is silly. Why don't we hear this from the Linux people? Okay, Linux is another operating system that you can run on your PC instead of Windows that looks just like Windows. There's many different versions of it. Again, there's not a lot of software. You don't hear the Linux people screaming, "Oh, we're so much better than Windows." Why do Mac people have this just like built-in need to try to prove themselves better than Windows users? I'm not saying Windows is perfect. It's anything far from perfect. But at least you can deal with it and you can work within it. So if I want to play the one-upmanship, okay, I'll take your Mac OS and compare it to ZOS, which is a mainframe operating system. And you're going to scream, well, it's not the same thing. Well, yeah, it's not the same thing. So you don't want to be compared to that, but you're going to compare yourself to Windows. Just stop, will you? It's just, again, you're arguing two different things.
Hey, Ralph, you want to talk about hot rods now?
Sure.
Paul says, "Oh, it said Tech Talk, not Tag Talk. I thought you were talking hot rods."
Oh, I didn't see that. Is it? Then I'll shut up because I don't know anything about hot rods. I love cars, but I don't know anything about working on them. But anyway, that's why I really just don't really get involved in the Mac and PC thing, because it's just silliness to me. It's just one-upsmanship. Macs are great. They work great. They work fine. If they didn't, they wouldn't sell like they did. But I don't buy into their philosophy of how they do things. Doesn't make them wrong. It's just a different way of doing things, but you really can't compare the two. Yeah, they look like they do the same thing. You know, if you set one by the other, they have a nice graphical interface. And if you click on something, something happens. But what happens underneath that is, again, two totally, completely different things. So anyway, I'll shut up.
Kyle said, "Ralph, I totally agree."
Yeah, again, not knocking them. I just don't buy into their philosophy of doing things.
Yep, I agree. And then on top of that, I know some Mac users that have had problems with, getting stuff to work, like music, and stuff like that. I mean,
things that should be simple
yeah.
that become just royal pains in the neck. Yeah, I'll touch on one more thing that Mac users always bring up is how much more secure their systems are. Up to a point. Again, I'll go back to the 70% of PCs out there in the world are Windows. If I'm a hacker and I'm trying to do the most damage possible, am I going to write code? Am I going to spend the time and effort to write code that, yes, is more difficult to write for Apples, but can be done, but I'm only going to affect 30% of the people, and it's only going to usually not businesses? Or am I going to take the easier route and I can affect 70% of the computers in the world? You tell me which route I'm going to take as a hacker, because hackers are usually lazy people anyway. So your Macs are more secure up to a point. Again, it's like stealing a car. If a car thief wants to steal your car and he's good enough, your car's gone. You kiss it goodbye. Same thing with a hacker. If somebody really wants to get into your computer and is good enough to do it, they're going to get in your computer. It's the same thing. So that's it. I'm done. I said that before, though, too, didn't I? Anyway.
Well, Skipper, welcome in, brother. Well, Kyle says one has 4K sticker, the other 200.
Yeah. Exactly.
Skipper says, interesting conversation tonight. I went to college and took computer maintenance technologies, built my own computers, thoroughly educated in DOS. Along comes Chicago. I hated it.
Yep.
And then Sissy says, leave my Mac alone. And Skipper said, my house is 90% Mac. I'm not really thrilled with them, but if I have to have a computer, I don't want to be messing around with all the GUI interface. Man, PCs are easy for me.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just what you get used to using.
If someone gets on my Mac, I'm in trouble, because if they show my husband my Amazon account, it's all over.
I think everybody can say that, can't they? The world of PCs is great. Whether you use a Mac, whether you use a PC, whether you use Linux. I've been playing with Linux on one of my other PCs over there just to mess around with it, just to see. And the thing about Linux is there's so many different kind of little versions of it that do little different things, but it's cool. I mean, it works, it loads, it's free. And it will run on older hardware. If you have an older piece of hardware that won't run a Windows 11 or won't, you can't, maybe even Windows 10, maybe even Windows 7. I mean, if you have some older hardware and you would just like to run something, again, that you can get on the internet with, look at emails, look at one of the versions, look at one of the distributions of Linux. Mint is a good one. There's a bunch of them out there. again, it's kind of something that's, if you're into PCs, it's something that's to play with, just to look at a different alternate operating system.
Hey, thanks for coming in, Twin Brook.
Yep. Welcome to the chat.
Kyle says Mac is great for editing, etc. And Skipper said, "Oh, that's too funny. I have that trouble when I'm buying silver." And She Devil said, "I've never used a Mac. Someone gave me a used one, but the OS needs to be reloaded."
Yeah, the only Apple product I've ever had was my work phone, and that was just an iPhone, I think 6 at that time.
Well, I actually have a what are they called? Basically iPads, I guess.
iPads, the tablet.
But the reason I have it is because we went to Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo in like 2016 or 17, and I entered a drawing and won it. And then Jamie, she played on it for years or whatever, and then she got done with it, I guess.
Yeah, if somebody gave me one, or if I could pick up something super, super, super cheap that would work, I would probably get one just to mess with it, just because I'm curious like that. But I'm not going to spend the exorbitant amount of money they charge for their stuff just to have one to play with.
Well, see,
DJ
has a Mac and a PC, but I think he likes his PC better. I think he just likes hyping up the Mac or something. He wants to be one of the cool kids or something with the Mac. Nope. But if you want to send me money, I'll spend it on buying upgrading my PC, not buying a Mac.
Yep.
I've never really even used a Mac. I've seen them and stuff. And I'll tell you what, when I was at Best Buy, we sold one basically Apple computer. Okay. And we didn't sell very many of them. That was back in 2006, 2008, something like that. Bye, sissy. Love you.
Yeah, I'm PC, Android. You know, when I had my iPhone from work, of course, it was locked down a lot too, but I didn't really spend a lot of time trying to figure out how to do everything on it and stuff like that. One of the other guys that got one, he didn't have a cell phone at all. So he kind of dove into it. And if I had questions, I would just ask him. But again, it's just what you get used to.
Well, the funny thing is, too, is we've had people on here that have asked us Mac technical questions, and you never can find somebody that knows the answer to Mac questions. I mean,
sorry. Yeah, it's a different expertise. So we're a Windows Android channel, basically. So. Yeah, when I first started working on computers, we worked with DOS. That was it. One of the guys that I worked with, he still to this day has one of the original IBM PCs. And there's a game that he still plays on it. So he fires it up every once in a while just to. I think it's been a while since he fired it up last time. It's been a couple of years since I talked to him, but.
Kyle said for his company, he bought 2 G4 Apple towers.
Yeah, it's fun to spend your company's money, man. Not going out of your pocket.
No, yeah. I think it is. I think Kyle's the owner.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Quint still plays Pong.
Hey, there's a lot of older games that I still play. And there's even emulators you can get, like software emulators on your PC that will run like Nintendo 64 games and stuff like that. My youngest son, the one that I just did the video rock climbing, he has an emulator that does a bunch of stuff.
I shared that out and stuff. I might have been able to do that in my younger days, but I mean,
I'm working on one now for him. I'm almost done with it. It's basically a comparison video of when he first started doing it. This one, I don't want to bore everybody because not everybody has seen the video. If you go to a rock climbing place, on the walls, all the little hand holes and footholds have different colors. Those colors are actually routes. So if I'm climbing, let's say the green route, I'm not supposed to use any handholds or footholds from like the red or the blue course or whatever. So those, while it looks cool and everything, those colors actually do mean something on the rock climbing wall. They're actually routes. So the one I'm working on now is him doing a route when he first started, and then the same route about 3 or 4 months later. And if you watch the second one, he's so much smoother, and it ends like 30 seconds almost before the first one does. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take him and I'm gonna put the first one in full screen, and then the second one in full screen, and then I'm gonna take them and layer them over the top, like on top of each other, and they'll be synced at the beginning anyway, because that's the only place he's at the same speed and stuff, so that you can kind of see what he's progressed. But he's gotten pretty good at it. And I don't know if you noticed at the end of it, there was a couple people that were applauding, and one guy said, "Nice." He said there was a whole bunch of people watching him do that. That's a really hard course that he did. Because that one that, you know, if you watch that one where he started, he's basically hanging upside down. And then he just kind of goes around. He's gotten really quite good at it. That is a serious workout. He comes home beat.
Skipper. Gracie, yo, I'm almost done. Shush. Here, I'll give you a treat. Here, shut up. I'll give you a treat. Yeah, the first game I remember, was on the computer, on PC, was the Oregon Trail.
Was that one of the text-based ones?
Yeah, it was. Well, yeah, pretty much. It was like, you know, it was kind of like a role-playing thing. Your little wagon would move, and then it would say you ran into this or whatever, and then give you an option of what to do and stuff like that. It was pretty fun for back then, you know. And then I had Atari with Pac-Man, and my mom, she used to play Pac-Man on Atari, and she'd get all freaking jumping all over the place, and and that's what she sounded like, a monkey and everything. And then we went to Intellivision, and it was just
one console after another.
Yeah. But now I'm pretty much a PlayStation person, not an Xbox. Well, now I'm back to PC, but it's playing Call of Duty on the PC with a controller.
I don't even think we have a console in here anymore. Everybody has a PC. Everybody has a gaming PC. First PC game I ever played was a text-based game called Zork. I'm sure maybe
I remember Cubert.
No, this was all text-based. You would type stuff in and it would come back with text. There was no graphics to it whatsoever. It was completely text-based. Command line, you would just type it in the command line. Just the technology. Where I used to work in a very large data center. So all kinds of hardware and, always leading edge new stuff and just crazy stuff. When I first started working there, my first job there was actually hanging the old round magnetic tapes. Okay, those big 12-inch round tapes. That was what I did all night long. Tape number would come up on the screen. You'd go grab the tape, put it on the tape drive. It would finish reading it or writing to it. You'd take it and go put it away. Really, that was my first job at that company, was doing that. That was how I got in the door.
Hey, Peter.
I had computer experience and technical experience in the Air Force before I got out, but that was my first real job after I got out of the Air Force, was working there. And when I interviewed for the job, the guy said, "You'll be in tape operations for 6 months, and then you'll be in computer operations." He said, "Just with your background." you got to get in the door somehow. So hanging tapes was the way I got in the door. And then I went into operations, and then I went into this and that, and ended up in the hardware group where we installed cable, took care of all the servers, mainframes, not actually maintaining the mainframes. That was actually done by IBM. But as far as, you know, first line going out, looking at it, yeah, there's water spurting out of it or whatever. Yeah, that was us, you know. Now servers, actual servers, we actually maintained those, installed them, cabled them, did all the PC stuff in the building. So yeah, been around this stuff for a long time. I don't really consider myself an expert on any of this stuff. I've just been around it for a long time. So you just get comfortable with it and used to it. And people tell me I'm kind of a natural at it. So it works. I like doing it. I enjoy it.
No, it's not funny, Quinn. Don't
Can't
laugh
tell.
don't laugh at DJ and encourage him.
What are we encouraging DJ about?
He says Eddie is on the text-based version of EverQuest. LOL. Kyle said, Ralph, some of the data centers are crazy.
Oh yeah. Ours
You too, Eagles.
Ours was very large, but absolutely postage stamp compared to Amazon and Google. Right before I left, well, not right before I left work, but before I retired, we built a new data center out in Omaha, Nebraska. A lot of people are building data centers out there because they're getting a lot of incentives to do it. But our data center literally sits between Google and Amazon. And our building is literally a postage stamp compared to those two buildings. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous. But knowing what they have to do and what they do, yeah, they need that processing power, all that stuff. The amount of storage that a large company like that has to deal with is amazing. We had to keep every email that came into our company, whether internally or externally, from companies or anything, customers, companies, didn't matter. Any email correspondence that came into our company, we were required to keep for 50 years.
Whoa.
Yes, that's a government requirement.
Kyle,
So
right, but I bet ice cold. In the server rooms and stuff.
oh yeah, it because all that equipment is air cooled except for the main. Well, it's your choice whether you want to water cool your mainframes or air cool your mainframes. Now they used to all be water cooled because they just created so much heat. Then as the newer generations came out, they went to being away from being water cooled. But now it's up to you whether you want to water cool them or air cool them.
Skipper says it
Yeah.
really has changed a lot, hasn't it, Ralph?
Oh yeah, I mean I'm sure I've been retired 3 years now, 3.5 years, something like that, not really long. And I'm sure that the stuff that I was working on is no longer there. Because every time that we would install a new disk array system, by the time we got it up and running, the next generation was out. And we would literally be bringing those in and switching over to it. And sometimes it was smooth and sometimes it wasn't, either hardware-wise or software-wise.
Hey, Phil. Phil said, Ralph, do you know anything about Bitcoin mining rigs?
No, I do not. I just know that they eat up a lot of graphics cards. So
Yeah.
I know that when you do that, you're going to create a lot of noise because you have to have cooling. So there's another thing that if you want to look at something that's kind of crazy, is these Bitcoin mining farms that are being built in Arkansas and stuff that are creating so much noise. They're creating problems for the neighborhoods they're in. So
Freaking Kyle says water was cool 10 years ago. It's like Eddie. At least I was cool 10 years ago. DJ has
at one
never been
point,
cool.
yeah, right. Yeah, no, that just the rate at which technology moves you can't keep up with it. I mean, you really can't. But from a large scale data center point of view, yeah, it's crazy. I could not even take a guess at the number of miles of cable of different types I have run in my life. Just I couldn't even give you a guess. It would be I couldn't even give you a guess. Because everything in a data center is either connected by Cat 5 cable, Cat 6 cable, copper cable, like Ethernet cable, or by fiber cable.
Hey, Kyle, you see I have my own, hold on. See I have my own towel now, right, Kyle? I don't know if you've seen it. There's my Devil Dog towel.
All right.
My Devil Dog barbecue towel.
So where's the barbecue?
Well, we have a barbecue team. It's called Veterans Vittles, and there's me, T-Rock Vittles and such. Boyce with Runs Over or Rudin, Texas, and a fourth guy named Earl Elam. He was retired. He was in the Air Force, and then he switched to Army, and he retired a lieutenant colonel out the Army. Funny, Des. Thanks, Quint. Simon just finished grilling.
Right. Let's go eat.
Yeah, it is about time, guys. Type in chat if you want me to recognize you. We got about 3 minutes left, and then just stay there on the YouTube side, and it'll automatically push you over to Belt Loop 29's live. And I don't know what he's got it titled tonight, but anyways, I got it over to where you'll be kicked over there. I have not forgotten back in the States. Comcast cable wife for 14 years. I bet I ran more than you. Simon just finished eating. DJ said I'm hotter than Eddie. That's why he ain't got a shirt on. Because he's hot.
I'd say something, but I won't.
Tri-tip tacos. Thanks, Quint. Thanks, Kyle. Okay, let's get through. We have members of the channel. We have Belt Loop 29, Peter Old Man King Homestead, Nancy Our Treasured Home, Peaceful Des, Simon Yes I Can Barbecue, and we have Ralph, my co-host here. And then we have DJ's Cartoon Universe, Eagles Trekker, Kyle Alex, somebody just hit Nicole Ruiz, Cooking with Stephen and Jacqueline. That's who popped in. We're up there. Peterson Farms in Nashville. Phil, I don't know why you're not a mod. I'll try to find you here in a second. Quint Nelson and Natasha, the Budget Preppers. Welcome in. Thanks for coming in, guys. We actually have 24 people in here. I think I've seen 25 or 26 at the most. Where's Phil at? I got to scroll up. Skipper's not a mod either. Whoops, wrong thing. I gotta go over here.
I didn't even notice. Nope, he's not.
I don't know why. I think they took this stuff. YouTube, I think, messes with stuff. I really think they do. And okay, I got Phil. Now I need to find Skipper.
And some guy leaving a comment out of his program update. This messes everybody up.
Come on, where's Skipper comment? Skipper, type something in. That way I gotta look. But anyways, guys, thanks for coming in. Oh my gosh. Skipper, I'll do it next time. I can't find you. I can't find you right now, Skip. Okay.
Switches and
There he
Cat
is.
5, 6.
He did it. He typed it. There. Why ain't it showing up? Hold on a minute. That's because he's on your side, Ralph.
Oh,
I'm looking in my live chat trying to find Skipper because I see him typing in on StreamYard, and I'm like, he's not over here. I'm scrolling up looking for him. All right, guys. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for, hey guys, we had 20 like 6 people in here or something. Next month on the first of the month, the first Saturday of the month is Tech Talk with Eddie and Ralph. Okay. Make sure that y'all think of any tech questions you have or tech questions you want to talk about or discuss and stuff like that. And we'll be happy to try to answer them. And next week, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, Day with the Dog. And I want to thank everybody for coming in. I love y'all. And we will see you next week. Stay there and it'll kick you over to Gary's.